Hello, good people. Hello. It's Thursday. It's Thursday night. We ain't got no music tonight. I don't know where our music is on tonight, but we're here. And that's all that matters is that we're here because we don't need no music. We don't need no music. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Black and Vibin'. Come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room on this good Thursday. Y'all, my sinuses are not being kind to me at all, okay? They trying to keep a sister down, but they not. They not. Hey, y'all. Hey, A. Hey, Gabby. Hey, that's Miss Cheryl. That's my girl. Miss Cheryl is always up in the building on a Thursday, and I love it. Oh, tonight we about to get into it. I'm about to get my guest on up in here, and we gonna have a good time vibing out on tonight, y'all. How's y'all Thursday? How is everything? Thank you so much, girl. I'm just letting this hair do what it do, okay? Just let it do what it do, child. Because this hair was all an accident all this week. All this week it was an accident, but we're here. We are here. So, hey, thank y'all for the hair love. I'm going to bring my guest on, and she's all about natural hair and keeping it healthy as well. So, we are about to get into all kinds of stuff on tonight, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I hope y'all are having a good one. Hello
Hey,
there.
hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Usually we have music and we just start off with a vibe and everything coming up in here.
Uh-huh.
But I told them we don't need no music. We don't need no music, okay? We don't need no
Absolutely.
music.
Absolutely.
Yes. How are you on
I
today?
am doing very, very good. It's been a great day. It's been real productive.
Good. Well, y'all, welcome to Black and Vibin'. I am Adrian, and this is a place where we come and we share our stories, okay? Because we all have stories to tell. And what better people to tell our stories than us, right?
Right.
So we are here. I come live with all different kinds of people with all different backgrounds and walks of life to come and share the story, to build a community and see who you vibe with here. So tonight, I'm so excited to have Miss Tashell Williams here on tonight because I was just drawn to her story. Like I followed her on Instagram because our daughters are on the same dance team.
Mhm.
Madison is still like on the freshman elite, but she's trying out for the team this year. So she's going to
Good.
try out for the team this year. And when I saw your story, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And I'm seeing the things that you are doing and you're starting to do. And I was like, let me reach out to her and see if she wants to come on and share her story. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are? And we're going to get into some good stuff on tonight.
Okay. First of all, thank you for having me because you could
You
have thought
are,
of anybody to be on here and you thought of me. So thank you. I'm honored for that. Um,
yes.
I am Tashell Williams. I am a woman of God. I'm a mother of four. I am a wife. I'm a business owner. I am, God, a one lung survivor. What else can I say about me? I just strive to live life in an intentional way
Yeah.
that brings joy and peace
Yeah.
to my family, myself, and I am very driven by purpose.
Mm.
And so, in a nutshell, that's who I am. I love to be a servant. Hey, Ashley. And
That
an
somebody
amazing
said
friend.
an amazing
Yes,
friend. Hmm.
yes. So I just
Yes.
love to be the best version of myself. I'm always trying to be better. I'm always growing and I like to bring others with me. So I
Yes.
like to help other women be the best version of themselves that they could be as well.
I love it. I love that. I love
Mhm.
that when people are walking in their purpose and walking in their passion when they finally discover what that is. I think
Mhm.
that that's the most that's the most beautiful life, right? Is
Yeah,
living your authentic self, whatever it is that you are called to do and what you're called to be. I think that that's a beautiful when people are walking and living life, with purpose.
absolutely.
So you named off a whole bunch of different things, a whole bunch of different hats that you wear here, ma'am.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about as many as we can
Okay.
within this hour or so. Okay.
Okay.
So take us back to the young girl. Take us back. Let us know where you were raised and where you were born and how your childhood was. So take us back there. Let's go on a journey
Okay.
here.
So I'm the oldest of, it's a lot of us because I was the only child from my mom and my biological dad.
Mm.
So they were married, they got divorced, and then they had other children when they remarried.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the oldest of everybody.
Oh
Three,
wow.
three over here. Then my dad, then my mom married. He adopted me and he had children. So it was just a whole big blended. They were older than me, but as far as from my mom and from my biological father, I think there are six of us, six or seven of us.
Oh wow.
So childhood for me, I was very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just kind of, I was blessed, but I just remember being really sad, not really joyful, low self-esteem. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
on the northeast side of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of moved around a lot, but my grandmother was sort of like the central point, and she still lives in northeast Houston, like
Okay.
Spinach Woods, North Side, Tidwell, 59 North. And so I always was in private school though. My mom
Mm.
believed in education, and being that I was her oldest, your oldest is always your experimental
Right.
child. You want to do everything right, and you're like, okay, I'm supposed to put her in private school. So because my parents had that mindset, I experienced a lot of blessings that the normal child would not have experienced.
Mm.
Um, but the thing that I noticed as I look back is that I could identify with the fact that whenever my mom would send me to get my hair done
Mm-hmm.
was when I felt good about myself. Those were the
Mm-hmm.
times that I felt the most joyful, the most happiest.
Yeah.
And so I would go because I was relaxed. I would go when it was time for me to get a relaxer, and you get your hair trimmed up. I remember the styles that were in style back then was like the wings that they used to, the stacks. That's what they call
Yes,
it,
the
the stacks
stacks. Oh, we had
with
that
the
stuff
crimps
stacked
in the
up
back.
in the cribs.
So I loved
Yes.
that. I loved it, and I went home and learned how to master it for myself so that
Mm.
I could do my own hair because that was what made me feel good. I was a church girl. I was the only person in my actual home that went to church,
Oh wow.
but I was connected to God through my grandmother. She was Methodist. So when I would go spend the weekends with her, we would go to church. Though, so I ended up going into being Baptist in I would say my high school days.
Okay.
So I was the only one in my home that actually went to church.
So did you grow
And
up as an AME
no,
or
just
okay?
I
Just
went to Willing Workers Missionary Baptist Church
okay.
on the north side, Pastor Carrington, and
Got
I was
it.
in everything. So I wasn't the person that partied or that wasn't me. If I was gone, I was at something church related.
Mm.
I was in a choir. I was in a group outside of the church that was a Christian, a choir, like a group singing about God.
Right.
I acted. I was active in the youth ministry. So we did all kinds of things, whether it was outings. That was my whole entire life as a teenager. My nickname was Chapel. My nickname was Chapel from
They
this
just knew
guy
you
that
was
I
gonna be
dated.
at church, huh?
Yes, always at church. And so I ended up going to Second Baptist High School. I actually was the first African American to ever attend their school.
Wow, come on, history maker.
Yeah.
She's Black history, y'all.
Yes.
The first
The
one that
first
ever
one.
went to the school. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness.
And that was in, I want to say 93. In 93.
Wow.
I came in as a
Wow.
freshman. So up until then, like I said, private school, but predominantly African American. So it was a very big transition to go into that space. But my
Yeah.
principal of my former school felt like I was strong enough for it.
Mm.
And it had its ups and downs. It definitely made me question my identity because at that age, you're still trying to
Figure out who
form
you
your
are.
identity,
Right.
right?
Right.
So to be in that, it was different, but I'm so glad that God took me down that route because I got to really study the Bible. I got to really connect with people of all different ethnicities, and it expanded my vision of dreams
Mm,
because
that's good.
majority of them, they were millionaires. Like their parents were millionaires.
Yeah.
I went to school with the owners of the Taste of Texas. You've heard of that restaurant, the Taste of Texas?
I haven't heard of the Taste of Texas. You know, I'm not a
Yeah. Oh, you're
Houstonian.
not a Houstonian. I remember that 'cause when I see you with your football gear on, I'm like, she must
Yes.
not be from here.
Kansas City, Kansas City.
Yes, Kansas City. Well, the Taste of Texas is a very well-known
Okay.
steakhouse. It's like near Katy.
Got it.
But anyway, one of my classmates, it was only 72 of us, very, very
Wow.
small school. Her parents owned the Taste of Texas.
Yeah.
And then we were in classes with the grandparents of the people who own Papa Dough. So these are
Oh
the people who I
my
went to school with.
goodness.
So I was able to see how people can really live, and it broadened, well, from that exposure. It was like, oh my gosh, I can accomplish something like this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
Those
it
are
was
one of
definitely,
the things that we talk about often, me and my friend. We talk about exposure. You know, it's like
mhm.
when you are exposed to different things, it does open your eyes to
Yep,
all different kinds of things. And I think that that is so important, you know, as parents to expose your children to so many different things so they can know that it's more than one way to do something, or there's more people out here doing amazing things, you know.
hmm,
And that's one thing that I do love about Houston, because you can see all races doing those things, but you see a lot of Black people doing amazing things as well.
that's
And so
right.
I think that that is so awesome that you were able to experience that at such a young age. And
Yeah,
those are those ages where we are very impressionable.
yes, we,
So that's so awesome that you were able to experience that then. I want to go back and touch on when you said that you felt the most joy when you were little getting your hair done.
hmm,
And I just think that's just one of the joys. It can be joys and pains of of being a Black girl in Black hair and loving your hair as well. Because this, I'm sure that early love for getting your hair done and learning how to do hair, it sparked a career for you of
it did.
entrepreneurship,
It
right?
did.
Can you tell us about that journey, your hair journey?
Okay, so at the time it was something that I was like, okay, it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself when I would go to the salon, I felt like this stylist, this has to be the most easiest job ever. She's laughing with everybody, everybody's eating, and
Yeah,
she's just having a good old time. And I said, I would want to own something like
yeah,
this because this seems to be fun all the time.
right.
You're just doing hair, the hair is beautiful. So I definitely thought, okay, I want to do this. But did I really, really digest it and move toward it? At the time, I wasn't. I wanted to be an gynecologist obstetrician.
Mm,
And
mm,
so that was something that was like, oh yeah, this will be fun. But back then parents always push you toward, you got to get a degree, you got to go to school.
right,
So hair isn't something that they're like, oh, you need to go toward that.
right.
So I believe when I went to college, I went to Sam Houston State first.
Okay.
That's when people really began to see, oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. Because at that point I was a pro and knowing how to do my own hair. And
Mm-hmm.
people began to ask me to do their hair. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I'll try.
Right.
So I tried and they liked it. And so I was like, oh, and then I fell in love with how it made them feel. How I
Yes.
saw them light up. Or how they were
Yes.
like, girl, you got to do my hair before we go to this party because, I feel this kind of way. I'm like, oh. So that's when I really began to say, maybe I have some type of gift because I never envisioned my hair as myself as the actual
Oh
hairstylist.
wow.
I wanted to be the owner of the salon,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
hairstylist.
Yeah.
So as I was in college and wilding out and doing crazy things, I flunked out of school. Not because I wasn't smart, but because nobody was holding me accountable. Everybody trusted that I was gonna do the right thing.
Right.
But
Because you have
I
been responsible early. Okay. You were like a
right,
model student earlier.
right. So
Got
can
to
you see
college
how
and
that
wild
goes?
out.
Right. So I went and I partied and had a good old time and ended up right back at home.
Mm.
So I had to readjust my schedule of life, of how what was I gonna do
Yeah.
next. I said, okay, I'm gonna go to cosmetology school. Since I have this love for it, I'm gonna dive headfirst into it, and that's what I did. And
Okay.
at the time, I believe I was either pregnant with Taylor, which is my oldest. I have a bonus baby that's older than her, and then I have Taylor.
Okay.
So I was pregnant with her. I remember finishing cosmetology school at like 9 months pregnant. And so
Wow.
even when I finished cosmetology school, and I was winning awards all through that. So that was all like, that was definitely a gift that God has given to me. And at that point,
Yeah.
I realized, okay, I have something here. So after that, I had her, and what did I do? I went to work at a bank because I love money. I like numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, I want to work at the bank. So I worked at the bank. But while I was working at the bank, I had still had one foot in the door in that industry of doing
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I was shampooing and all that on the
Yeah.
weekends because I love the
Yeah.
environment and I
Yeah.
want to stay up to date with everything that was going on with my license. So I remember what happened. I was working with my Aunt Jenny because I have an aunt that was a hairstylist as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when everything began to happen for me. I started to have issues with my breathing.
Mm.
And it was minor issues, but my mom was like, you need to check into it. And
Yeah.
that's when I realized that how old was I? I want to say 21 or 22 years old. Yeah, 22. Because I had Taylor at 21. So at 22, she wasn't a year
Mm-hmm.
yet. I started to notice some different things going on with my body. So I'm going to let you ask some more questions because you may want to go into something different.
Yes.
But
Because
go ahead. I ain't going to
we
take over the
right.
interview.
No, because we're gonna get to that because
Yeah.
that is that's a whole other story that we do
Yeah.
want to get into. But I wanted to touch on your hair journey because you started a whole career in a company and have products out there,
Yes.
helping women with natural hair to have healthy natural hair. Because
Uh-huh.
it's one thing to have hair on your head, right? But
Mhm.
it's another thing of like keeping it healthy and keeping
Mhm.
it growing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't know what to do with our hair. We can go on YouTube. I know I'm YouTube University. We go on YouTube and we find different styles to
Yeah.
style our hair, but to keep it healthy, that's a whole different journey of it.
Yeah, it
So
is.
just touch a little bit about the natural hair journey and like
Okay.
the products that you do have,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna get to
Get to other stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so what makes me so set apart? Well, I ended up doing hair full time. And it was a scary thing for me because I think I had this internal battle of doing it the way that society wanted me to do it regarding deeming what success meant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like I said, to go to school and get a degree and do
Mm-hmm.
it that way. And so I fought with that a lot. So I kind of ran from really just taking on, okay, I'm going to be a professional hairstylist.
Mm-hmm.
And so I began to work at this salon called the Root of You. I know you're not from here, but the Root of You was a very upscale African American salon in the River Oaks area.
I have heard. I
You heard of
did have
them?
heard of it.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So I liked their brand because at the time I was a mother. I wanted to have working hours that allowed me to be a mom and not be there hours and hours
Yeah.
and still make the amount of money that I needed to take care of me and my children.
Yeah.
So from there, I God was like, look, I know you're not gonna step out on your own, so I'm gonna make you step out.
Yeah.
There was a commission based salon, so they had like a sliding scale based on how much money you made every 2 weeks. And so I remember they set us down that next year and they were like, basically, we were getting a demotion because for whatever reason that they were doing with their business. So that meant I was going to have to work more hours to make the money that I was making the year prior to. And that just wasn't an option for me,
Right.
for my work life balance.
Right.
So I decided to step out on faith and open my own salon, April 1st, 2008. And
Wow.
I named it Euphoric Essence Hair Salon.
Mm.
And so I luckily had some people that were around me that had owned salons before, and they gave me their expertise. They gave me their wisdom and knowledge without cost. And
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody come and pray over my salon suite. And from that day, I have never had an issue with getting clients, anything.
Wow.
It's always been, I didn't have enough time. Like I was always booked to
Woo.
capacity. I never did an ounce of marketing. It was all word of mouth.
My
And
goodness.
yeah, I did hair, but the thing about me that makes me so different and set apart, in my opinion, is the fact that I understand what a hairstyle does for a woman.
Yes.
I've always been so picky. I'm very picky about a lot of things in my life. That's just me.
Yeah.
And so with my own hair, I just transferred my pickiness over to how I handled everyone else's hair. And they loved it. Like there were no shortcuts, there were nothing when it comes to me doing hair.
Yeah.
I was very serious and I'm serious about education. My confidence, a part of it, comes from my knowledge and how much I know. So I would
Yes.
study and read books even after I finished cosmetology school. If there was anything I was faced with as far as a problem, I was reading books, I was researching. My husband would be like, "You are really different." I'm like, "Because I need to know." And so that made me set apart in combination with me just being a very caring person. Hi,
Here's her.
baby. Look, I thought that was my baby. I was like,
She always has to come in at some part of the show to say hi to everybody.
I like your hair.
"Thank you, beautiful. I like yours too."
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, girl.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so that makes me set apart, and that's what makes me really, really be the best at what I do. Now, how I got into the natural hair part, because let me be honest with you. Back then, what I'm describing, I was doing all chemical services, relaxers, color, you name it.
Right.
And then the industry started to shift, I would say in 2000, maybe 2010, 2011, somewhere up in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Everybody started to get rid of the chemicals. They wanted to go natural. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
trying to hear that
Mm-hmm.
because I had my flow. I knew how to handle every single texture. I had the products right. Once
Yep.
you get that in line, you don't want to change nothing.
And
And
natural
so
is something totally different.
different.
Okay, totally
Oh my
different. Because
God.
I chopped mine off in 2011. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's
And didn't know
different.
what to do. That's when YouTube University came about.
Yeah.
I chopped my hair off and I was like, oh my God, I'm looking like a boy. Didn't know what I was doing.
Trust me, I get it. I was like, my clients would sit in my chair and say, "So, I'm thinking about going natural." And I was so quick with it. I said, "Well, let me help you find another stylist because I'm not the one for you. I don't like it. It's ugly. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to take your money because it's ugly to me."
Yes.
So I even told them I would never, I told people I would never go natural. And I even remember, I don't know if I was dating my husband or if we were married. I can't remember. But he was really good friends with, I think it was TT from Nico and TT from Miss Jessie's hair products.
Mm-hmm. I
So
know
he's
Miss
really
Jessie.
good friends.
Yes.
Right. So they had this little thing about trying to get me to start doing natural hair, and I didn't know. So they were in town, and my husband took us all to dinner, and they sitting there, and they like, yeah, we think you should come on board with the natural hair. And I looked at them, and I was like, I'm not gonna do
No.
natural hair. And he was so embarrassed. But I don't do anything that I don't feel. It's not worth the money to
Right.
me. And if I do it, I have to believe in it. So what made me go natural, to make a long story short, I took off. I got pregnant with Cadence unexpectedly. And
Mm-hmm.
I took off and I got introduced to a lady who shared wellness with me. And you'll know later on in the interview why that was important to me at the time.
Right.
And so she was just sharing with me about environmental wellness, which is looking at what you put on your skin, what products you use every day, what you
Mm-hmm.
feel, the fragrance, all of those things can be toxic and it can have a negative effect on your health. And
Mm.
so when I found that out, it totally blew my mind, first of all. And it changed my perspective of what I was using. Like, oh my gosh, what are these relaxers doing to me? What are they
Right.
doing to my clients all this time? What are these
Yes.
chemicals in this shampoo and conditioner? Because it's not just chemicals in relaxers and color. There are chemicals in everything that we use and we put on our
Yeah.
skin. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell us about this. They need to know that this is disrupting hormones and what this looks like. And this is why we have asthma. This is why we have infertility issues. So I was just wanting to tell the world, but guess what? Nobody would listen.
That's the thing, right? When
Nobody
you have
would
this,
listen.
nobody
So my husband,
listens.
he was like, you know how they will listen to you. Because keep in mind, I was at home. I stayed at home with Cadence for 4 years.
Mm.
And so he was like, yeah, they'll listen to you if you go back and do their hair.
Yes.
And I was let me pray about that. So I did. And 2 weeks later, I went back into the salon as a natural hairstylist.
Wow.
I went natural and I had to teach myself how to navigate natural hair. I taught myself how to navigate natural hair from behind the chair.
Mm.
I scratched every product line I knew because they all were chemical based.
Wow.
And I started over looking for all organic ingredients. That was my first priority of something that was safe for my clients and for myself.
Yeah.
And from there, I just used the knowledge that I already had. And people, I mean, they don't know that. They know that now if they watching.
Yeah.
But I taught myself how to do everything that I know how to do
Wow.
from behind that chair. Yeah, from behind
Wow.
the chair. So I would never go back. And what I realized with natural hair journey is with me struggling with self-esteem issues throughout, even into my adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
I feel the most beautiful with my hair like this because it's 100% authentically me.
Yes.
God chose this hair for me
Speak about
and it's
it.
beautiful. And I try to convince women to understand their authenticity. God
Yes.
gave this to you naturally. Nobody else on earth has your hair.
Come
Nobody
on.
else possesses who you are.
Come
And
on.
so for me, just being in that space and being able to speak to the woman on a whole nother level is what made me take it to not only let me cater to your natural hair, but to your entire inside of your being,
Yeah.
which is your overall wellness. And so in going natural with hair products, there weren't a lot of products out there that were truly safe. That word natural is used so much across the board just to get people to buy, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the truth. They are lying because I have done my research.
Mm.
So because of that, that's why I started a hair product line called Cadence Taylor Organic Beauty Products.
Mm.
I wanted something that would combat most of the problems that I would get because I always did an in-depth consultation because I
Mm-hmm.
needed to know exactly what was going on with everybody's hair, what they were drinking, what they were eating, what their stress levels were before I even touched your head, what
Wow.
medication you took. I need to know all of that because it all plays a role.
Yeah.
And so with me knowing the issues and common things, I took those notes and said, let me create something that can help these women, that can be safe for them and can give them salon quality results. So that's how I came up with my product line.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna drop her website and everything like that so we all can buy it because This hair is screaming, give me some. Okay, give me some. And some people in the comments was like, tell me more. Tell me about it. Where can we get these products? But no, what you're talking about is so true. And I do believe it, because we do put so many different things on our hair, and it just absorbs into our bodies, not even knowing what's going on. And as we can see now, we all have saw this, that now they're like, if you used just for me, you could be entitled to some money because there's a lawsuit. Or if you use any of these box perms, which we've all used, y'all know y'all had them box perms. And so we just don't know, after all these years of putting those things on us, what they're doing for us. And to have you on here, and you've done the research, and you seeing what was in there and creating something natural, that's just amazing. And I know you did it for other reasons as well, but I just wanted to just stop and give you your flowers for that right then and there, because that's what we do here too. We give people their flowers. You come on here, you share your story because you're doing amazing things, because you're black and vibing. Okay, you're a whole vibe. But we know that there were some other serious things that happened in your life as well, that made you have to do a lifestyle change and do more things naturally, the way that you ate. And you said that the way, everything that we breathe in, can have an effect on us. And you talked about early on, like around in your 20s, you noticed some things were happening with you. So can you tell us, how have you been surviving? Y'all ready for this? She's a survivor living with one lung in Houston, Texas. So please share with us this journey of, like, what was the symptoms that you were having, because a lot of times we don't talk about these things, and we don't know. We could be having things could be going around on with us, and we may think, oh, it's a headache, oh, my hand is numb, so I just need to drink some more water. You just don't know. So can you tell us about what are the things that happened early on that said, hey, something's not right, let me go get checked out?
Yeah. Well, it was honestly minor shortness of breath. Let me see. I didn't press on my own business. Minor shortness of breath. That year, and I know you're not from here, but are you familiar with Katie Mills outlet?
I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that year they had just opened. And that was that was in 2000. So I was so excited to get out there to shop, and I took Taylor with me, and she might have been like maybe 7 or 8 months old, I believe.
Shout out to Taylor. We're going to shout out to Taylor, and shout out to you, Mom, because she graduated from college, right? Taylor graduated, right? So shout out to her, and congratulations, Mom.
Congratulations to her. Yes, congratulations to us.
Yes.
I was laughing. I was like, girl, well, I was up here doing stuff I had no business, and now you done graduated from this.
So somebody graduated from Sam Houston, right?
Yes. God makes all things good.
Hallelujah.
But just minor shortness of breath. I remember getting in the car with her. It was hot. It was summer. And it's always hot in Houston in the summertime. You know this now.
Yes.
And so I remember describing to my mom that it just felt like there was no air in the room. I mean, in the car, when I got in the car. It's just like, that doesn't sound right. What do you mean it feels like there's no air in the car? And I was like, Mama, I don't really like heat. I'm just allergic to the heat. It's no big deal. And she was like, you need to get that checked. I was like, no. So what happened after that was, at the time I was a student at Texas Southern University, and their AC had gone out in their HP&E building, and it was raining outside. They lifted the windows. It was muggy. The air was thick. You can cut it with a knife. And that's when I began to feel like that same feeling, but it was worse. And I was like, oh, just something just don't feel right. Let me just go to my mom's house. So on the way to her house, I always would avoid this cop because it's a bridge. And the
Mm-hmm.
cop would always be sitting on the other end of the bridge, and I'd be like, oh gosh, let me slow down so he won't stop me.
Yeah.
But on this particular day, it was getting worse and worse as I was driving to the point to where I felt like I was suffocating
Oh my
alive. That's how I felt.
goodness.
And I said, Lord, please let this policeman be on the other side of this bridge because I'm going to pull over to him and tell him to call 911 for me.
Yeah.
So I did. And he was there and he called. And my mom came. And when they came, they put, they checked my vitals, put oxygen on my face. I was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, no, she's complained about this. Go ahead and take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
took her to the hospital and got testing and all that kind of stuff. And everything came back normal, except they said something abnormally large was on my right lung. They didn't think it was a concern. I was so young, healthy. So they just told me I needed to see my primary care physician.
Wow.
And so from there is when I did further testing. I don't know if you have any other questions because you asked me about the symptoms. So I'm following
Yes.
your lead.
We gonna flow. We're gonna flow right into that. So you went to go see your primary healthcare provider, and because they said that you had something on your right lung. So when you went to the doctor and you got that checked out, did they discover anything from there, or was it like another process that you had to go through to find out what was really going on?
So what he did was he sent me for extra testing for a CAT scan.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a CAT scan with contrast and without. And a day later, they called me, but we were missing each other because I was at school. So
Mm-hmm.
when I would call them, they didn't answer. When they would call me, I was in class, I would miss the call. So finally, on my way home from school, we got on the phone and they were like, we need to speak with your mom because we want to tell her your results. And I'm like, no, I'm 22.
Right.
You can tell me. And
Yeah.
so they were like, well, the upper part of your right lung is collapsed and it's due to a blockage. We don't know what it is, but we need you to see a pulmonary specialist. We've already made your appointment and you need to go in and see him. So from there, I went to him for him to do a bronchoscopy, which is
Mm-hmm.
when they go down your throat with a camera and then a tool to do a biopsy of whatever it is that they find so that they can test it to see what it is.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's what happened from there.
Wow. So this was at 22 years old. Your daughter was how old at the time?
She hadn't made one. During all this testing, it was in October.
Yeah.
I would say right before October. So yeah, and she had
Oh,
made one. She would have made one that November.
oh my
So yeah.
goodness. Oh my goodness. So you get this diagnosis, you go to the hospital to get these tests done, ran. And when did they tell you, like, what type of surgery did you have to have a surgery to remove the lung? Like, what was that process of in the journey of, ending up with
With
just one
one.
lung?
So
Mm-hmm.
what happened after I had the bronchoscopy? The doctor at the time immediately told my mom right after the bronchoscopy, which I was kind of out of it due to the anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
He told her that it was cancer. And she was like, well, how do you know? And he was like, well, I know it when I see it.
Right.
But he really didn't know because she said, well, I'm not going to tell her that until we get the results back.
Right.
So when they got the results back, it came back saying that I had a granular cell tumor in the airway of my right lung, blocking oxygen. And the thing about a granular cell tumor, it's a very, very rare tumor. And
Yeah.
that tumor had never been found in the lung before.
Wow.
So they recommended that I go to MD Anderson.
Yeah.
They referred me there
Yeah.
because even though it's a place for cancer, it's a place for rare things too.
So you
So
were
they,
like the first person that this had ever happened to in the lung.
hmm
Oh my goodness.
hmm So I went there. I never forget my first time walking through the doors. to go there was October 2nd because that's my sister's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, they began to do different tests and try to figure out what to do with this tumor because they had never dealt with it before.
Right.
And what was going to be the end result. Like, was I going to need radiation, chemo, general medicine? So I had to go to see all those different doctors for them to see if I was a good candidate for me to be their patient.
Yeah.
And so I was
Yeah.
declined by everybody. And so the last resort was for me to actually have it surgically removed.
Mm.
So when they went in to actually do the surgery, which was to remove the tumor and save the remaining part of the lung,
Mm-hmm.
that's when everything was kind of crazy because they found something totally different than what they had found before. That tumor had grown so aggressively that it cut off all circulation to my entire lung. And it grew up my main airway. It attached itself to my spine, my vocal cord. So it had grown so aggressively in 3 months
Oh
that
my
they
goodness.
were not expecting what they got in the surgery. So they had to consult about what to do in the
Yeah.
middle of surgery. And so the decision was made to remove the whole entire lung and also to remove a portion of my main airway. And they had to reattach my left lung to the airway.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
say, oh my goodness. I know Adrian like,
I-
Lord.
I'm just like, Lord, I knew pieces of the story from your IG, but like listening to this, the one that you're still here telling the story that they removed your whole lung and they had to put the left side back in here. You can't tell me that God ain't real. Okay.
Absolutely.
You cannot tell me that God is not real. Anybody who is on here and that is not a believer,
Yeah.
we're opening up the
Yes.
doors to the Lord right in the now. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Hallelujah.
So they did all of that in the middle of surgery. You didn't even know that it had gone that aggressively. So during those times, did your symptoms get worse? Like
No, I had like one more episode, but that was it. That was it.
throughout
It
that
didn't get.
whole time, throughout that whole 3 months, you're
Mhm.
just living life, doing your everyday
Yep.
thing. Oh
And just
my goodness.
waiting to see what to do. And so as I look back and think about everything, I was like, man, I was really strong to be
Yeah.
that age because I know that my doctor said I had a 50-50 chance going into the surgery. And I still was like, okay, let's do the surgery because I'm trying to be back in school next semester. Like I had this faith that was
Right.
unbelievable that I was going to be fine. I just need to go ahead and get this surgery to be back healthy so that I can continue on with my life. And that was the attitude I
That's
had. Like even in going into the surgery that day, I was dancing around. I remember I just told him to make sure I had all my music because I'm such a big music lover for
yeah.
recovery. And so yeah, I just had that faith going in that everything would be fine. It didn't cross my mind that anything would go bad. I
Wow.
didn't have that kind of thought process at that time. I don't remember that part, but
And that's just a testament of like how God covers you, that because if you would have known that this is what was happening, your mind and the anxiety and everything like that could have kicked in. But God is so amazing that He covers you, and you didn't even know that was happening. Even in
no.
the middle of surgery, they had to figure it out. Thank God
Mm-hmm.
for them too, and they were able to figure out what they needed to do. But you didn't even have to worry about that because you didn't even know about it because God
No.
covered you
Yeah.
from it. Oh,
Yep.
oh my
So
goodness.
so after that, going into recovery, I was doing well. Of course, you go to ICU after you have a surgery that major.
Yeah.
So from there, to about, I would say, a month and a half. I don't remember because I actually took a turn for the worse. After the 3 days that
Mm.
I you,
Mm.
I was placed in a medically induced coma,
Mm.
and I was on a ventilator for a month and a half. I was on life support
Wow.
because other things started to happen.
Yeah.
I had a pinhole in my left lung that swelled me up. I had heart failure. I coded 2 times on them.
Jesus.
I had some everything you could name. They had to compound me. I caught pneumonia in the left lung that I had. I caught a rare infection in the left lung that I had. So that's why they had to put me in this coma because I was just so ill that they just wanted my body to heal.
Yes.
So my doctor never gave up on me. He just kept telling my mom, your daughter's really sick. Just continue to pray for her.
Mm.
So because that surgery was December 13th, 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember any of that until February when I actually was able to wake up and know that I was having to work to be weaned off the ventilator.
Mm-hmm.
That I had to go through PT and how weak I was. I couldn't walk. I had lost all muscle mass because I had laid up for so long.
Wow.
And I've never really been a big person anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so just going through all of that, it's all in my book because I wrote a book about it. But to leave that hospital at 65 pounds, 2 weeks to walk, do anything, it's just all God. It's all God. It's all God. I just give him glory and praise for my life, but more profoundly, it made me go and search for my purpose. So
Yes.
that's why I'm purpose driven because I came so close to death. As even as my doctor to this day, he's like, you came so close to death and you didn't die. I've never had a patient come that close to leaving here and
Yes.
still be here. So you have profound purpose for this life, for your life.
Yeah.
Like go find it.
Yeah.
You don't have any limitations. Go find
Go.
what you're supposed to be doing. And so that alone was a journey of its own, just trying to figure out, well, Lord, what do you have me here for? It got to be something real big and necessary.
Yes.
You didn't bring me home when you could have. So that is the stance of how I handle my life. That's how I live and why
Mm-hmm.
I'm so intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quick to resolve conflict. It's just ways that my perspective has shifted that a lot of people around me don't even understand. Because
Yes.
once you nearly die, you start to just think about life is really short. People say it all the
Yeah.
time. And we're here to fulfill an assignment from God. And you don't know how much time you have to fulfill
You
it.
sure do.
So for me, I operate on a daily basis like God has given me a second chance of life.
Mm-hmm.
I go before him, I want him to say, well done.
Mm.
So I have to do what I have to do.
Mm.
I don't need motivating. I don't need anybody to pump me up to do anything because I have an internal fire inside of me that wants to give God glory and thanks just for allowing me to be here. I'm here. I ended up having 2 more kids. I've experienced marriage, so
Ooh.
I owe it all to God. My life totally belongs to him.
Uh,
And so that's
I'm just over here like speechless. I ain't had no guest yet that just leave me with no words. I'm just like, where we need to just cue up the music, okay? The shout music need to
but
come.
you
I
but
don't
you
even
said we
play the
don't need no
R&B. They just like
music.
do do do
Yep.
do.
Good, good, good. Yeah.
Woo! My
Good.
God, my God,
So good.
my God. He is so amazing, and that's what this is all about, is to share stories like this, because we all have stories, and we don't know what story is going to reach somebody. Somebody could be out here right now that is going through something, or not even going through something, and it will ignite them, it will light them to just get up and be motivated to do something. Because like you said, we say life is too short all the time, but when you come that close to death, and I mean, everything in your body was shutting down, and you are still here telling about the goodness of God, how He saved your life, and how you now want to help other women to find their purpose and their passion as well. Can you talk just a little bit about that, your journey now on helping women to find their purpose and their passion and to live an intentional life?
Okay, so it's so crazy. When the pandemic happened, I actually closed my salon in person, and I was tired physically, and I knew that God wanted to put me in another space to be able to help more women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
'Cause I was kind of capped off with servicing one client, and it was just God wants me to be elevated to something different.
Right.
And so I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? Like, okay, I'm a certified wellness coach, but what does that look like? And so I just kind of like honestly have felt like I was going in circles since I've been home, but in a business realm of going in circles, but not in a spiritual realm. I actually have gotten much closer to Him and much stronger spiritually, which is what I needed.
Yeah.
I needed to grow in my confidence in who I am, and I've been growing in my confidence in who I am in Christ Jesus, because it doesn't matter how much money I make, what my title is, what my status is. God never changes, and that's what I need to be rooted in as far as my total confidence in who I am. And
So
so
true.
I've worked on that, and I'm in a discipleship training class, which all of these things God has brought to me, but I know He's intentional about everything. And I'm like,
Right.
God, this is a lot, but I know you're going to use it for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So as I felt like I was kind of confused and lost, I realized I wasn't lost. It was all a part of His plan.
Mm-hmm.
So here recently, I would say in the past month, I realized that God has combined from a virtual space, me helping women with their hair and stuff, but also being able to tie the wellness piece in. And so I'm able to help women through that space, through a way that's more affordable.
Mm.
So right now I am creating a membership for women to be able to, I don't care if you're in college, because my thing is I want to be impactful and impact as many people as I can.
Yes.
With my story, with how to be well, with being intentional with the way you care and love yourself.
Yeah.
It starts with knowing how God views you to be.
Yeah.
So everything that I have been going through and learning, God has been equipping me to help women in that
Beautiful.
space of, because wellness is spiritual, it's
Yes.
emotional, it's mental, it's physical, it's environmental, it's intellectual. It's
Yeah.
a lot of things just to balance. And see, when you're able to balance those things and truly embody and love yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
show up in the world in a much better space.
You
You
do.
don't have unrealistic expectations of imperfect people that always leave you disappointed.
Come
You know
on.
how to
Come on.
fill your own cup
Yeah.
versus feeling like someone else is responsible for filling your cup. You take the affirmations from the Word of God of how He feels about you
Mm.
versus being mad because somebody else is not affirming you.
Mm.
So that's how I help women today. And I'm almost done with like completing my membership or getting everything together. But when I tell you, I'm so excited about it because everything is intentional. I know
Yeah.
that wherever He leads me, there's a dot for me to grab because it's going to connect me to the next piece. And I
Yes.
just be like, okay, what am I supposed to get from this, Lord? Because I know it's something.
Yeah.
How you want me
Yeah.
to put it in the puzzle? Because life is a big puzzle with scattered pieces.
Yes.
And
It
God
is.
knows the overall picture of what He wants it to be. But we got to trust Him daily with just as He gives it to us, which is one piece at a time. You know
One
what I'm saying?
that was a whole sermon right there. You are so right. It's like trusting Him daily, you know. So the
Mhm.
faith I had and the trust I had yesterday, it starts all over
All
today.
over.
You know, and that's the thing. It's being consistent with my faith. That's a thing for me. It's being consistent with your faith. Like, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I trust God. Yes, I have faith in God. That's fine. But do you have it daily?
Daily.
Daily. And that
It's so
daily, that's some grown folks faith right
it's a
there, you
challenge.
know.
It's
Is
a
to
total
have it
challenge.
daily. It's not a one time fits all trust and faith walk.
Yeah. And so as you have this platform, which I thank God for giving this to you, because sharing our stories is so important, right?
Yeah,
Because like you said, you never know how it helps someone else, how it inspires them, how they're like, for me, like, dang, she has one lung and she had two more kids and she's an entrepreneur with multiple businesses and she does this. It's not me, it's God. So it allows him to shine because in my human body, I'm not able to do this. But not only that, in sharing your story, that's where you find your purpose.
that's it.
Because
That's it.
I had to write my own story
Yeah,
to find my purpose. Like, what did I struggle with the most that God actually gave me solution to? Like,
yeah.
what is the profound theme of my life? Like, I
Mm,
struggle with self-esteem and feeling good came from me doing my
yeah,
hair.
yeah,
You see how that connected?
yeah.
The wellness piece came, it saved my life. I
Right,
had to learn
right.
how to be well after my lung because I had limited energy. I had to learn. I have other issues that I dealt with, father issues, but I had to learn how to be well, even in marriage,
Yeah,
because marriage is like this.
yeah,
And when I felt like there were times when I was alone, well, I had to learn how to be well for me. Because
yes,
ultimately, it's not his responsibility. I always say, you got to be your own cake. Let your spouse be the icing because you
come.
can be a cake without the icing, right? So you got to know how to be your own cake.
You gotta be your own cake. Let your
So
spouse be the
let
icing.
your spouse be
Whatever
the
else
icing.
be the icing. Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Because
yes,
you can't put all that on somebody else that's dealing with healing and issues and challenges. It's just not a good mixture.
yes.
So when you learn how to do that for yourself, but that's also how you, Adrian, are showing people, helping people to
Mm,
find their own purpose because it's in your
mm,
story.
mm.
It's in
It's
your
in the story.
story. It's
Yeah,
in your natural gifts and talents that God already implanted in
yeah,
you when
yeah,
you knew what He purposed you to do.
yeah.
You know
And the
what I'm
thing,
saying?
and it is, and how this all came about too. It was during the pandemic and afterwards too. And you wrestle with these things, and it's like, well, everybody's doing this, so why should I do it? And then it's just like, do it. I just came live one day and I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do. I came live and I kept going. I stopped for a little bit, but kept going because I don't know the whole vision, but I know what God has told me to do. And it's
Right.
just like, here I am. I'm going to show up. I don't even know who's coming on next week. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you keep on going because, again, you don't know who needs to hear these stories. So that is what this is all about because we are Black and vibrant in this world. It's a lifestyle, it's who
Yeah.
we are. And so we're here sharing our vibes with others. And so I thank you. I always tell people, thank you for saying yes, because you could have been anywhere else in the world and you chose to be here with me tonight to
Yeah.
share your story. So I want to say thank you for sharing your story, but just showing up in such a great way as well, because your story is amazing. It is a testament to how good God is, and that if you just really trust him daily, it's a daily trust and a daily walk with him, what he can do with you and have your light shine for other people to see, because
Right.
you are a living, walking testimony, all in one. Okay, So I
Awesome.
thank you so much for sharing your story. We have your information on
And
here.
I'll
If y'all
put
don't follow
my
Tashell,
book.
y'all click that button and follow her and stay connected with her. If you're vibing with her tonight, get connected with her. Follow her page. Get involved in her hair products.
And my
We
book.
got about hair products.
And my
And then
book. I put my other
her
website.
book. She got a book on here as well. So I'm going to pin
Yeah.
this on there and I'm going to put her information on here. I'm going to share some more stuff about you too. And so we
Okay.
can have more of your information of how y'all can stay connected with her because she's a whole vibe. She's a whole vibe. And so, and we're going to have to get together the next time D2D. I know the D2D season is over
Yeah.
now, but we're going to have to say, hey, girl, hey, the next time. And I'm going to have to hug your neck, okay?
Yes, ma'am. But
Yes.
thank you for having me. I love to share my story.
Yes.
And it's been a while since I shared it, so I'm glad that you asked me
Well,
to do it. I got to share it on Sunday, so I guess God was like,
he
okay, I'm
prepared
going to put you on back
you.
out
Okay,
there.
come
Yes,
on.
it's
He's
all about
preparing
time.
you.
Mhm.
Yes. But I'm going to save this. So
Okay.
I'm going to save this and I'm going to share it with you and I'm going to share it with others. So send this to somebody to encourage somebody that life is worth living, if you live it. Choose each day to get up and live your life because we do not know when it could be our last. Okay. So thank you again for joining
You're
us tonight
welcome.
on Black and Vibing. And we'll see y'all next Thursday. Just come back and join us and see who's going to be on here with me. Okay.
That's right.
Talk to y'all later. Have a good night.
All right, you too, honey.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This was so awesome. So awesome. Y'all, I forgot. It's the sinuses. My sinuses are kicking my butt down here. But I do have to do one more thing. And because we're giving away next weekend, we're going to be up in the Woodlands, Texas, for the Single Black Mom Motherhood Summit. Okay. We're going to be up there in the Woodlands and it's going to be an amazing time. It's going to be a time for single moms to connect with other single moms, get resources of how to continue to do this thing called motherhood, for the single ladies out there. So it's going to be a good time. And we want to bless a mom with a ticket to come out there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be other single moms that's going to be there. The information is in my story and it's on my page as well. So we want to give away a ticket to this summit, which is going to be amazing. Kim from Single Black Motherhood, she is amazing. If you don't follow her page, go and follow her. She has so many different resources on there as well. But we're going to have a good time next weekend up in the Woodlands and we're gonna learn so much. So I want to see y'all. I want to meet some of y'all next weekend because it's gonna be a good time of connection and community, but also giving us resources that we need. So I didn't have a lot of participation. I did put it out there late, but we still want to bless a mommy. So I want y'all to DM me. If you are in the Houston area, if you know a single mom out there that will benefit going to the summit, please DM me. We want to get this ticket to the mommy this weekend. This weekend, we want to get that out to her. So if you know a single mom in the Houston surrounding area, DM me and let me know that you want to go to the summit and we're going to pick a winner, okay? We're going to pick a mom. We're going to pick a single mom and we're going to purchase the ticket for her this weekend. So Friday, Saturday, we are going to do that and we're going to bless a single mom because it's going to be an awesome day out in the Woodlands, okay? So thank y'all for tapping in tonight. Okay. Thank y'all for tapping in tonight. Tonight was a great time. Just a blessing on tonight. Tashell left me speechless on tonight. But we're going to get off of here tonight and I will see y'all next Thursday. next Thursday. I'll see y'all next Thursday. So y'all continue to have an awesome night. Stay black and stay a vibe because you are the vibe. Bye, y'all.